got the time to push the video about the finances, as that was your desire based on the YouTube poll for the next video. I had a big work with the Black Friday promotions and other live stuff, so therefore I didn't upload this video this week, but oh boy, I was really missing it, and now we are going back to the track. This is really analytical Vedic astrology here, because we are collecting a few charts related to this topic, and we try to find some patterns which are repeating and which are common to the situation represented by this chart. See the extreme cases of finances, challenges in the life of these people based on the 5 charts. And in this we will focus especially on this tax evasions and bribery, so that will be present in lives of. They are also various intensity when it comes to this topic, because some of these people, they end up in jail, some of them had to pay a big fine, and some of them, because of their privilege, because of their position, could escape this punishment, especially those in the government workers. So we will have also one person who could totally skip the punishment when it comes to this tax evasion and bribery. These examples are quite extreme, and you may ask how this is applying to my life, to my situation. Based on this, each of these examples will try to extract single rule, and now based on the single rules you can apply this to your chart, so then this becomes applicable. I also want to make one disclaimer that this is more or less, when it comes to the summary, my research, so this is not coming from the parampara. To the single principles, how we interpret them, these are definitely based on this traditional parampara teachings. For example, you will see that there will be a rules related to second from Aruda Lagna, which is occupied by Mercury. So this is very often happening when one is having the blessings of having properties. This we will analyze, and this is coming from the traditional teaching, or even from the Jaimini Upadesha Sutra. And similarly, the 12th from Aruda Lagna, when it is afflicted and somehow is aspected or conjoined with Mercury, then this is giving the losses based on the legal disputes, right, or legal cases. So this will be very important for this topic, because many of these people, they end up in court or end up in jail, so they are going through this court cases expenses, so the Mercury will definitely be there. So also based on this, you may see that which planet is somehow associated with your 12th house from the Aruda Lagna. This will be the source of your losses. And also if you have this Dana Yoga Lord, so the 2nd or 11th Lords, if they are somehow afflicted or placed in bad houses like Dushtana, we will see, for example, in the first example, the 11th Lord was in the 12th house. So then you will see which Karaka or which yoga is related to this placement, and based on that you will know what to avoid, because the Karaka will show how this will manifest. So for example, if it's Sun, this can be through government. If it's Mercury, this can be through business. So this will also give you some tips where to be careful or what to avoid altogether. We will also often see that the Lagna, the ascendant, will be afflicted by malefics. This is important because the ascendant is showing the satya or truthfulness, and also the planet which is related to that, the Jupiter, also will be often badly placed. So these single rules will be forming, or will be the part of this big recipe for the tax evasion or bribery. So you will see definitely on this example how this placement are activated. Also, Atmakaraka will be often related to the 2nd house. This is the combination for jail. So for this, the Vedic texts are saying that we have to look for the bandhana yogas, the equal planets on the both sides of the ascendant, for example in 5th and 9th, or 2nd and 12th, and also for the Atmakaraka in the 2nd. So we will see also that this yoga is there. The biggest part of this analysis is only in the Rasi chart, because I want to make it as an introductory part, or as the beginner part. But if we will dive into the Vargas, we could get even more details about the situations. What yogas should be there for this tax evasion and bribery? The first point would be about the government problem. So that is, I have seen here that the Sun was often related to the 3rd house in the navamsa, because that is showing the challenges, so this is definitely there. Jupiter was definitely badly placed, and also the ascendant, the Lagna, was also affected by malefics. Mercury was afflicted. This is showing the experience of work. But in this case, this was especially related to the nodes, and also I have seen that the Scorpio. This may show that one is the hiding the wealth or has something to do with secrets when it comes to work, because the nodes and also the Scorpio is showing the secrets in the chart. 2nd and 11th, so the points of wealth in the chart, especially the lords, were afflicted or somehow related to Dushtana. This is showing some suffering or loss or bad experience related to wealth and finances. So they were often in the 8th or 12th houses, or in the navamsa, they were in the signs which are corresponding to 8 and 12 in the Rasi chart. Of course, the Atmakaraka is 2nd for jail or any bondage or any serious problems when it comes to government or punishment. So the Atmakaraka somehow related to the 2nd house. Okay, so the first examples of Boris Becker, he was number 1 tennis player. He got the special placement in that whole sports and entertainment. He was winning the Wimbledon at age 17, so we see Jupiter, which is ruling that age of 16, 17, is in the 10th house of success and career life. But in April 2022, he was sentenced to 2.5 years in the prison for hiding his assets related to the 2017 declaration of bankruptcy. He was also sentenced to tax evasion, and already in 96 December he was already investigated by the police when it comes to this tax, hiding the taxes. And they filed the charges in July 2022 when he already finished his career life. So basically he was charged with hiding the taxes, which were for $5 million. And in June 2017 he declared the bankruptcy, and this was related to his big loan in the Mallorca, Spain. He was owning $14 million accumulation for the loan property. And he was also charged with failing to hand over this trophies, the sports memorabilia, which could be also sold to cover this bankruptcy or cover his debts. Interestingly, his Mercury is debilitated in the Navamsa and the Dashamsa. And as the Shastra says, debilitated planets can give Shri, so they can give wealth. And similarly to Picasso, who has the Venus debilitated also in the Navamsa and also thing in the Dashamsa. So this is proving the point that debilitated planets can give a lot of success. He was also into the speculative game, so the 5th lord of speculation is in the 10th house of the wealth, and also 2nd lord. 2nd lord has to do with any kind of articles, and we know that he was also involved in some tennis items. He was also sponsored and was also involved in the selling articles related to sports, so that 2nd lord in 10th house would reflect that situation. He has Aruda in the 11th house in the Virgo with Venus, so Venus can also show some wealth from entertainment. And we see that Mercury is in the 2nd house from the Aruda Lagna, so this is basically showing his wealth from properties, right? But the same Mercury is in Libra, and therefore it also will aspect the Leo, which is in 12 from Aruda Lagna. Now this is giving the expenses related to legal cases, right, to court cases. And because it's aspecting from the 2nd house, this is from the properties and all that. This Mercury is also 11th lord in the 12th house, so this is showing that his income, part of his income is basically going there into the loss, into the, we could say, black hole of Saturn. So Saturn is bringing that karmic taxation there. And yeah, this is perfectly reflecting his situation. So we have very nice mix of these two important principles related to the Jaimini Sutra, the 2nd from Aruda Lagna and 12th from Aruda Lagna. And interestingly also, this Mercury is 4th from Atmakaraka in the Navamsa. This is the 4th from the Karakamsha. So this will also show influence of the property. So one planet, Mercury, touching many points and exactly describing the situation. So what more we can learn from the situation? 11th house is not only in the house of laws, in the 12th. This is also the Parivartana. This is related to the Dushtana, right? So Dushtana is 6, 8, and 12. These are the bad houses. And when Parivartana, which is the exchange, here we see Venus is in sign of Mercury. Mercury is in the sign of Venus. Mercury is with Ketu also in the 12th house. This will be important when we will talk about the principle related to satya, to the truth. But we have a negative Parivartana. We have negative Parivartana, negative exchange related to his income, and this is also a Mercury. And now we said about the malefics. This is important for the truthfulness. And Sun in the Lagna, this is not really pushing the person into this untruth or telling lies, because Sun is still very sattvic planet. And here especially the 10th Lord in the Lagna, which make one big blessings of Vishnu for Raja Sambandha yoga, or being associated with big people, influential people, experts. But the problem is, Sun in the Lagna can give some kind of financial worries, financial insecurities, but especially here we have Ketu in the 12th and Mars in the 2nd house. So we have this Pisacha yoga on the Lagna. This can give impulsive decisions related to wealth. We know that he was very much into the poker. This is also the 5th Lord in the 10th, the speculative games giving him wealth. He has gained a lot of wealth through this, based on the biography in the Wikipedia. But also this malefics on the Lagna will push him to tell the lies. And therefore, if we add all these points, this can give us the recipe for the tax evasion or similar financial situations. Okay, the next example is of Michel Tubiana. He was a French lawyer and president of the Human Rights League of France. His father was also a judge, and he was involved in the left-leaning communist parties. And also on 27 January 2013, he was found guilty of tax evasion related to the Switzerland bank. So we will see that on this example, this person was only accused. Probably he paid some kind of punishment. He had some kind of consequences, but it was not really jailed. So we see that in this example of people who were more in the government work, who were more influential, they could run away from the bigger punishment, or maybe in this example, maybe this tax evasion was not so big, intense. So on this chart we can learn the combination for legal cases. This is when the 6th house has something to do with the Badakesha, because Badake will trigger this Rahu side of the 6th house. And in this case we have a 6th Lord Sun, because this is Pisces Lagna, right? So 6th house is Leo, it's ruled by the Sun, and the 7th is Virgo, ruled by Mercury, and Sun and Mercury will be together. But this is very general, because for Sun and Mercury are often together, right? And for Pisces this will be always 6th and 7th Lord. So we need to find something more. So now this is in 11th from Aruda Lagna, so we can see that these legal cases will be related to his gains or income or his money. We have also the 2nd Lord in 2nd house, but very important point here, this is retrograde or Vakri. So there will be a big connection to the 8th house. So we have some connection of 2nd house to the 8th because of that Vakri Avashta or Vakri position. And we have also Sun in the 3rd house aspecting 10th in the navamsa. So this is to do with the wealth, and Sun in the 3rd house may show some problems coming from the government. Then we have the example of Aldo Gucci, who was the son of Guccio Gucci, who founded the company in 1921. And interestingly, he developed also the likings for botany. We see that Virgo is the Lagna ascendant. Virgo has to do with gardens and so on. This was also reflected in his design of the products. Again, at 16, he worked with his father. We see again that Jupiter is with the 10th Lord, so related to work in the 8th house. 8th house has to do with inheritance, and also the 9th Lord is there of father. So we have connection of Lagna Lord in 8th, 10th Lord and 8th, so the 8th house is very much loaded. 8th house has to do with inheritance. The 9th Lord is there, which shows the father, and Jupiter is also there. And what is very important, the Jupiter is showing the wealth and abilities, and because this is conjoining the Venus and Mercury, which is, as we taught many times on this channel, the art and these external things like design and so on, this wealth is related to Venus and Mercury, to this art, and this is in the 8th house of inheritance. In fact, this is very interesting because I have a friend who is also art director for the design company, and she has the exactly same situation. She is Virgo Lagna with the Jupiter, Mercury and Venus in the 8th house, and she also get a lot of resources coming from her father. So in January 86, Aldo Gucci was sentenced to 1 year for tax evasion of $7 million. So in this chart we have again 2nd Lord related to 8th house. Here is the direct position, and here we have 3 benefics, so the experience of wealth should be quite good, right? We have Venus, 2nd Lord, with Jupiter and Mercury, which could even someone could interpret this as having some mastery, right? Jupiter and Mercury are giving the Sarvakarya Siddhi Yoga, one is having some mastery, and this will be related to wealth because it's 2nd house, or inheritance, the 8th house, right? Maybe sometimes this could even bring the doctor, right? Because 6 and 8 is also the disease. So when the finances are coming from disease, this can also sometimes give person who is earning from medicine. One problem with this combination, when benefics are in 6 and 8, this can often give some nutrition problems like allergies. So how to justify basically with this 3 benefics situation like this, when person was threatened with the jail and big punishment when it comes to his tax evasion. And this is again related to this Dainya Parivartana, bad Parivartana, bad exchange, an auspicious exchange. In the Boris Becker example, this was related to the 11th Lord, and in this example, this is related to the 2nd Lord. So we have 2nd Lord and 8 in the Parivartana in this exchange, and this is caused by the Mars in 2nd. So Mars is often related to the theft, and as we can see, this is also pushing the ascendant, so the ideals of person related to truthfulness on this bad side. This is the bad influence. So this Mars is in 10th house from the moon, which is showing that this is related to his work. It's related to the 12th house again from the Aruda Lagna, which is showing the losses. And also again is with Mercury, which is showing this legal cases. So we have again this full recipe for this tax evasion. Okay guys, so if you like this video so far, please don't forget to click the thumbs up. You are helping me with this algorithm to make this video more visible on this platform, so more people can learn about these rules of Vedic astrology. And also subscribe if you like to get notification about similar videos in the future. And now let's go back to this analysis. The next example is of Spiro Agnew, and he was the 39th vice president of US from 69 till his resignation in 73. And in 73 he was investigated by the US attorney on suspicion of conspiracy and bribery and tax fraud. He maintained his innocence, also he wrote about it in his books, but they proved that he accepted some kickbacks from the state contractors, and he was fined $10,000 but no jail time. So again we have a situation when the person had this tax evasion, and probably the normal person would go to jail, but he could probably hire some good lawyers, and $10,000 probably for someone who had such big position. This was also not big thing, right? So in this case we have Aruda in Leo, so this is showing someone who is working in that government sector. The Lord of Leo, the Sun, which is the planet representing the government, the structure, and also the bones, which are also giving the structure to our body. This is debilitated because Sun is always debilitated in Libra and also in the 12th house of the losses, right? But it has the Nicha Banga yoga, because otherwise how he could get such big position if that Sun would be just debilitated? So here we have the Saturn in the 10th house, right? Because the Nicha Banga, the cancellation of debility, can be done by Saturn, Mars or Venus when they are in the Kendra, so 1st, 4th, 7th and 10th, from the either ascendant or the moon. So here we have Saturn in the Kendra from ascendant, and here we have also the Mars, which is in the Kendra from moon, because it's with the moon. So there is, we could say, 50% of the Nicha Banga going on. We have Atma Karaka in the 2nd house. So again, this placement, and this could be a possible threat when it comes to jail time. And the Jupiter again badly placed, 2nd Lord in 8th, so this is also giving us the 2nd Lord of Finances in the 8th house, which is a kind of secret house. And Mercury again afflicted with Rahu in the Scorpio. So again we have connection Mercury to Scorpio and to the node. So we have this hidden work or wealth. And what is the most important, this is affecting his 12 from the Aruda Lagna. So we have some losses related to legal case. The last example will be of Heidi Fleiss. She was the American manager of prostitution rings. She made her first million after only 4 months of work, and she was charged in 94 for tax evasion, and in September 96 sentenced to 7 years, but only served 20 months. So sex, work, money, we have this Venus and Mars in the Lagna, so this is very much there. And what's most important, this is in the 11th from the Aruda Lagna, which is showing her gains. Here also the Mars is very strong in the Saturnian sign, which is showing for properties, but it's with Venus, so this is properties related to entertainment, we could say, right? So this is reflecting all those brothels. And 12 from the Aruda Lagna is not related to Mercury in this case, which is very interesting, but Mercury is in the Badaka with Ketu. So we have 6th Lord again and Mercury related to Badaka. So we have this yoga for legal cases is there. And what is very interesting, there is also the grahamalika yoga from this Mercury to the moon. So we have this Mercury and moon they are, we could say, connected also to the 7th house here. So with Venus and Mars and Mercury Moon related to the 7th house, this is definitely giving some kind of profession or wealth coming from such resources. Again, we have Mercury with the node and related to the Scorpio. Jupiter is also badly placed. I'm not sure about the navamsa lagna, because for Capricorn it will change very quickly, but we have also Sun in the 3rd house, which is bringing this government problems. Okay guys, so that's gonna be it from me. I hope you find this video interesting and informative. If you do, please don't forget to click the like button, subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching to the end and being on the channel with me through this journey of Vedic astrology, and see you in the next one.